Welcome back to the channel. Today is the third video because Gary Gensler just won't leave me alone. Thank you very much for that. One thing up front, I do not provide financial or investment advice. If you should invest in cryptocurrencies, and in this case XRP, make sure to understand what problem this asset solves. Well, today in this video I talked about how James Murphy, aka Metal Man, believes that Ripple should file a cross appeal, referencing an interview he conducted in the video. Well then, and not 2, 3 or 4 felt minutes later, this news. James K. filing on X breaking. Ripple has filed a follow-up appeal against the ruling of Judge Analisa Torres from August 7th, 2024. Perhaps a few people have listened to this, as he has also mentioned it before with Scott Maker, that Ripple definitely needs to become more aggressive. Here, just filed an appeal as well. I would like to point out the video from this afternoon regarding the institutional sales, which are the orange example. Just because institutions buy XRP directly from Ripple, it doesn't mean they are using it as an investment. Rather, they might sell it further on exchanges or to ODL partners. We don't know, but Ripple will probably provide us with more information soon. We still do not know which point or points of Judge Torres's ruling the SEC will appeal, because both warring parties are missing the Form C, as Ripple has only filled out and submitted a 15-minute note. The next or first reaction came from Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderoty. The SEC lost on all key points, which is why it filed an appeal. Today, Ripple filed a follow-up appeal to ensure that nothing is left on the table, including the argument that there can be no investment contract without essential rights and obligations being included in a contract. It is important to note that the SEC has already stated that it will not appeal the ruling that XRP is not a security. Parenthesis. In another case, they even apologized for suggesting that a token itself could be a security. That is the law, and an appeal on these other issues does not change that. Last year, the SEC unsuccessfully attempted to appeal the decision that Ripple's XRP sales on exchanges and other XRP distributions from Ripple, such as to employees and developers, were not securities. They will probably target them again, and they will lose again in both cases. We look forward to the Federal Appeals Court finally putting a stake in the ground against Gensler's misguided attack on our industry. Finally, I completely agree with him. Brett Garlinghouse also responded with the following tweet. As I said at the beginning of the month, if Gary Gensler and the SEC cared about the rule of law, they would accept their loss and move on. But they are not interested in applying the law diligently and providing clarity to the industry players in the USA. Under the chairmanship of Gary Gensler, the agency is only interested in creating chaos. Damn it. Well, US innovation and technology are taking a hit. Sand. We look forward to sealing the fate of the SEC with our current follow-up appeals and finally putting an end to the SEC's regulatory agenda. Ripple was the industry leader in the first round in court, and we look forward to taking a leading role in this round as well. And again, the reminder that no one stood by Ripple in the 2001 fight against the SEC. And since we have already mentioned Metalman, it's time to talk about Stuart Alderoty Garlinghouse and the entire Ripple legal department team. The crypto industry and innovation-friendly politicians need to prepare for this. Ripple with amicus slips. What he means by that is quite clear. As many people as possible need to submit amigos letters. Politicians, industry leaders, everyone. Amicus, 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 amicus. Flood the Second Circuit with requests to be heard respectively. Share your opinion. On all of this, Frederick Bowley has also reacted. He although obvious, has officially filed a counter-appeal. A lot is at stake now. The SEC views New York as Hellenin. If his victory in court regarding institutional sales is overturned, it is at the point. Of course, a defeat of the SEC at the Second Circuit of this magnitude, combined with a victory for Kamala Harris, would guarantee an appeal to the Supreme Court. If Trump wins, there may be no appeal to the Supreme Court, even if the SEC loses the second time. I agree. I already mentioned this today. I will give you another story, as it is being discussed more and more. In a mainstream manner about what Mr. Usan Gary Gensler is doing here. Here is Bank XRP. SEC Commissioner Marc Uyeda says that their crypto policy has been a disaster for the entire industry, here on Fox Business Live. All links are in the video description below. And if you like what I do, please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and share it. If you want. People, it continues, the fight goes on, and the longer I am involved, as you know, I have been dealing with the SEC case against Ripple for 3 years. And let's take a look at what has happened. We have a senator who wants CBDCs. We see that the largest banks in the world are based in America and control the SWIFT system, and they simply do not want DeFi on Web3. They don't want crypto blockchain DLT transactions because they are losing billions of dollars. Well, Jay Clayton filed the lawsuit, as we can imagine, due to the things we've seen. Also Bill Hinman, well, with very close ties to Tether. Well, then came Gary Gensler, a Goldman Sachs man, and Ethereum is very closely tied to Ethereum. Also JP Morgan, Ethereum, JP Morgan, Jay Clayton, Bill Hinman, Gary Gensler, Goldman Sachs, Elizabeth Warren. We must always keep in mind that lobby work in America has an incredibly huge influence on politics in the States, and we have to live with that. Will the courts now continue to decide cleanly like Annalisa Torres, or will we have to experience some less pleasant developments? But Stuart Alderotti is right. XRP is not a security in and of itself. This case naturally disrupts the business developments of the company Ripple, but as I already showed in the video this afternoon, they are still offering custody solutions for banks and large institutions. Let's be surprised at how it unfolds. I am very, very optimistic that it will have a good ending, because think of Tim Draper. That's it from me for now. I'll see you in the next video. I wish you a wonderful evening, and I sincerely hope you take care and stay healthy. I know what I hold and I know what I am invested in. Ciao, friends.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple is the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP extensively. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payment options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and the Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, published a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website. Ripple today is better than cash. The Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals. For 2030, you can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, on the websites of world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance, and on the UN's official exchange, which Crypto Exchange is officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution. XRP, the world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 2022, which was the first ISO 2022 member focused on distributed ledger technology. Ripple, which has partnered with over 300 financial institutions including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, and major banks in India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, as well as the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America. Ripple has former employees at the Federal Reserve, the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division. Ripple is leading Australia's CBDC effort and has hired a former U.S. Treasury official, 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys. Also, Ripple has 2 former advisors to Presidents Clinton and Obama, a former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, a former business director at Swift, a former Swift board member, a former CFO of PayPal, a former head of the DTCC, a former chief business officer at Uber, a former VP of Amazon, and a former SEC chair on their legal team. Ripple is a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Moja Loop, the IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments, Coalition for Faster Payments Council, Global Payment Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, World Wide Web Consortium, partnered with the World Economic Forum, with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WEF website. Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan? You decide.